Second draft in a row. I think Joe Ortiz has done a really good job. Now, for the first time, last year he drafted really high and he got the superstar tackle in John Alt. But this was different. He was drafting 22. He got a baller. He got a guy that's going to play Powerball football. I'm talking about Omarion Hampton, North Carolina. 3,600 all-purpose yards in 2 years at North Carolina. Heavy duty, physical force, runs at the second level, hard, good hands. Average 5.7 yards per carry at North Carolina. One of the all-time leading rushers, University of North Carolina football. He's like 5'11", 221. Really good football player. So you take Omarion Hampton and you couple him with Najee Harris, and all of a sudden, that's a very, very different running back combo. And of course, they did not re-sign J.K. Dobbins yet. Their second pick was Tre Harris, big 6'2" wide receiver out of Ole Miss. 17 yards per catch. Down the field speed. Now, part of me says anything's better than what we're seeing, but part of me says, yeah, you guys were telling me the same stuff a couple of years ago, Quentin Johnston, and that hasn't worked out well.
Right.
Now Johnston's in jeopardy, maybe not even being on the team when they get to training camp. Maybe they're just going to give up on him. Third pick, massive defensive tackle. How big is the state of Rhode Island? Jamaree Caldwell, Oregon, 342 pounds of man. Big. Now, he's not a guy that's going to get to the quarterback, but he's a guy that takes up space and stops the run.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty good. He's going to have to shed some tonnage, but they really like him. And the fourth pick is a speed defensive end linebacker. Not as sexy as Joey Bosa was coming out of Ohio State. His name is Kyle Kennard, blitz guy, South Carolina, had 15 sacks last season. More of a stand-up run guy as a bigger defensive end. So I think Joe Ortiz had a really, really good job with the Chargers, changing the personality of the team. And now you add Omarion Hampton to go with the one-year rental with Najee Harris, the Steeler. You got two guys that can pound the ball. Now, somebody out there is going to say, hey, dumbass, they got the same offensive line back. They couldn't block last year. What makes you think they're going to block this year? Well, they're going to make some changes in the offensive front, but at least they got proven commodities. Najee Harris, 4-time 1,000-yard rusher, heavy-duty guy, never gets hurt. And you got this guy, one of the best big ball carriers coming out of the ACC. And John Riley says,
yeah, all new receivers and running backs. I mean, this Hampton kid looks promising.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that his coach at UNC was Natron Means?
Yes.
The running back coach. I think it's just perfect. But this guy seems legit. I mean, I know, granted, I don't follow, North Carolina football very closely, but it's interesting to see that he's coming out. He was not Ashton Genty, but I think he could be good. I mean, it sounds good.
He doesn't have the extra gear that Ashton Genty has. Genty is just really cut from a different cloth. Once he gets to second level, Genty goes. This guy is big and powerful to get to the second level, and you still got to bring him down because he's 221 pounds. And the other factor in the equation, I mean, he's polished at catching passes. He caught 37 passes last year for like 11 yards per reception. A running back. So
nice.
There's no doubt that Genty was at the top of the draft board. This guy's name was on everybody's draft board as the second best back, and he fell to the Chargers. And I was a little bit concerned because you and I communicated during the draft. I said, God, all these other guys that I had the Chargers in the running for have dropped off the board.
Yeah, the wide receiver from Arizona was gone.
Very early.
Yeah, and then the Ohio State receiver was gone.
Yep.
And those were the two top names.
Yeah, there were, and one of the tight ends was gone. I thought, oh, God, they're losing their guys. But what happened was, so these other guys got taken. Hampton fell to them and boom, locked them in real quick. So,
well, what's the future? Quentin Johnston, when he came out of TCU, his bad rap was that he would drop passes.
Still going on, right?
And it's still happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, he's been with the team now for 2 years, I think, right?
Yep.
So maybe this is the end of the road for him.
On the depth chart right now, just based on the fact that he gave so much ground last year after a decent start, and just wasn't part of the equation at the end, I think he's probably behind this draft pick that they just took from Ole Miss, Tre Harris.
So there's Tre Harris, there's McConkey, Palmer's gone, right?
Palmer is gone.
So who else is left out there?
Off the top of my head, I'd have to go dig it
Because
up.
Quentin Johnson's one of them. And so, yeah, I mean, and then at tight end, you mean who they got?
Well, they got Will Dissly, who caught a ton of passes last
Right.
season, and then they signed another free agent tight end. And they took a tight end later. Gadsden, Orante Gadsden, big kid, caught a lot of balls. So he's going to get a chance to come in and play. We'll see. I was told he's a better blocker than these other guys who are just strictly pass catching tight ends. So I think these guys will get chances to play.
But no offensive linemen were drafted?
No.
Okay, but they're shuffling the deck there, and they got the new guy from Philly.
Right.
So hopefully they can figure that out and plug some holes.
Yeah, they got to figure left guard. They got to figure center. That's where they are. And all the free agents are off the board. There's nobody out there to go get now. But if Zion Johnson is the real deal and can go in and play center, that's going to make him better, because I thought they were very leaky at center, because Zion Johnson did not have a good year at left guard. So that's one of the game plans. And the other game plan is maybe moving Trey Pickens from right guard to left guard. He's massive, but he didn't have a great season at right guard. So they've got a whole bunch of guys in the mix. They got to solve the center problem, and maybe Zion Johnson, who's a third-year pick and a third-year guy, number 1 pick out of Boston College, maybe he's going to be the starting center.
Interesting.
Okay, all things NFL draft. If you got questions, you got answers, you got statements to make, that's why the Fans Forum chat box is open. When we're done telling you what we think, we want to hear what you think.